not just a show. As a girl, you have to think of how to lead your life. If you finish this, you will cry. I don't want us to be emotional again. Somebody is about to cry. Somebody is about to cry. Imagine her age at 14, 15 years. She's carrying someone's twin, a set of twins, and the person is with another girlfriend. She left her family abandoned her. Her so-called in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law abandoned her. The only person that's supposed to stand for her, the so-called boy, husband, also abandoned her for another girlfriend. But that girlfriend does not also know that her home awaits her. Law of karma. Am I correct? Yes. That's not our business for today. If you have a phone, I will send to the school platform so that we can continue. I will send to your parents, okay? I just hope they have data to do. What's the time now? Is this part one?
Yes, ma'am, this part one.
Can we finish part one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, let's finish part one.
That's how it happened, and after hearing the story, all she said was, okay. But a few minutes later, screams erupted from Desmond's flat. She ran outside to see what was happening. To her shock, she found the military woman standing in front of the flat, holding a horsewhip. Desmond and his girlfriend were sweating profusely, doing frog jumps while she whipped them relentlessly. No one dared to approach her, let alone beg her. Desmond's girlfriend was wailing, exhausted, but the fear of the whip kept her hopping. The woman was whipping them in turns, her anger palpable. Although I wanted to ask her to stop, I was too afraid to go near. You both should kneel before Ajanigo and apologize, and never harass her again, the military woman ordered, her voice stern. Desmond, you care less about her, so why are you and your girlfriend treating her as if she's not human? If you're no longer interested in her, then let her be. But I assure you, you will regret this someday. Now kneel before her and apologize. They both knelt hurriedly before Ajanigo, echoing in unison. I'm sorry. I'm going inside now, but you both will hop 100 times more. No one leaves here. Keep hopping, she commanded. She then approached Ajanigo and gently picked up her children. Let's go, she whispered. Ajanigo kept glancing back as they left, watching her men helped her up, and she carried her now awake children in her arms. As they took her away, Ajanigo kept looking back, hoping the man and his wife would help. But after only a few steps, the Oro man with the staff pointed it at the man who had taken her in. Immediately there was a flash of lightning, and the man fell lifeless to the ground. Terrified, Ajanigo held her children tightly as they continued walking. They finally arrived at a shrine, and she was forced to kneel, her children in her arms. Ajanigo continued crying, her prayers silent but desperate. The native doctor approached with a calabash, attempting to touch her forehead, but a force flung him aside. Where did you bring her from? He thundered. It's the stranger the herbalist brought home, one of the Oro men replied, his eyes wide with shock. Take her away from here. She's not a stranger. She's an indigene, the native doctor shouted, as soon as she was forced out of town alongside her children and escorted to the outskirts. She found herself unable to comprehend the situation. How could a girl from Kogi State be considered an indigene of a town in the west? Was this somehow God's way of liberating her? The people who had escorted her turned back, and she hurried away, shivering with fear that they might change their minds and call her back. She doubled her pace, constantly thanking God as she walked through the lonely road in the dark. She walked a long distance and eventually arrived at another village. The first building she saw was a Catholic church. Fortunately, the entrance door was open, so she went inside with her children and headed straight to the altar, where she knelt and thanked God for the miracle. The next morning, around 6 a.m., people started arriving for morning mass. They were shocked to see her there, including the priest, as they had heard she had spent the night in the church. She looked haggard and dirty, and when she explained everything to them, they took pity on her. They gathered money to help her continue her journey. One of them took her to his home so she could freshen up with her children before she left for the park to proceed on her journey home. She arrived home safely later that evening, only to find a group of people gathered, looking mournful, including Desmond. She was stunned and dumbfounded. What happened?
This on my right for talk to them on the screen before we continue.
Good afternoon, all. Very past 12. I believe that we learned one or two things from this film we have watched this afternoon. I may not have learned something. Okay, I want the SS1 and SS2 females here to tell us one of the two things you have learned. We start from Ramladisho. What have you learned? What did you learn? We should always obey our parents. Okay? Let's hear from expected. What did you learn personally?
I learned that we should not involve ourselves in any form of relationship with the opposite sex at a very young age.
Okay? You have learned something. Yes, let's hear from goodness. Is that goodness? No, blessing. Are you blessing? Blessing, what did you learn?
I learned that we should obey our parents so that we will not get into unwanted pregnancy.
Thank you. So that we will not get into unwanted pregnancy. Yes. Tanya, what did you learn?
I learned that we should avoid boyfriends at our age and we should always obey our parents so that we will not get pregnant.
Thank you. Yes. Taye, what did you learn?
I learned that we should obey our parents.
We should obey our parents. How many of us are obeying our parents? Yes. All of you are raising up your hand. You know, I always tell you that mother is not a title. Now, it's not a title because every one of us, we are praying that someday we will be a mother, isn't it? Now, personally, I've learned a lot from this film we watched. I learned a lot, and I believe that most of you have learned something, but you need to change. You know, the last time I spoke with SS2 female students, I asked how many of you have boyfriends. Different, I don't have. But I know that most of you are telling lies. Yes, most of you are telling lies. Now, Ajanigo passed through a lot. She survived because of the grace of God. She had twins. I remember that twin was not even due. It was as a result of the beating, okay, that she had that twin. And look at all the things she has gone through or she has passed through. The film still continues. Now we are bringing it down to our own self. We are looking at a lot of consequences of what? Unwanted pregnancy. We want to look at it now as now we watched a film, we want to bring it home. Now, a lot of consequences. Number one is that your education will be stopped. Your education will be what? Yes. Remember that the legal parents, you know, they sent her out of the house or out of their home. They stopped her from going to school. Now, when you are pregnant, have you seen a school where they admit pregnant girls? No. A secondary school where they admit pregnant girls? No. Once you are pregnant, you are a woman. From the day you start seeing your menses, you become a woman. I hope you know that.
Yes.
Now, once you are pregnant, pregnancy takes how many months?
9 months.
9 months or 10 months. There are some pregnancies that take 10 months. Children come at 10, even 11 months. Now that is 1 year. One was what? In military school.